I'm Dr. Howard, and this is Alien Hour. Welcome to Alien Hour. I'm your host, Dr. Howard, and today we're going to talk about contacting extraterrestrials. And we're actually going to take a little trip outside of the studio here. We're going to take a little trip to Giant Rock in California to try the techniques that I'm going to lay out for contacting extraterrestrials. And just so you know, this is something that I do fairly regularly, just as a kind of disclaimer. It might not work on your first attempt, so you know it's something that you practice, but I'm going to give you some general tips. One tip, today I'm drinking green tea instead of coffee to try to clear the mind a little bit, to clear the third eye, the ability to communicate, because we are in fact going to be trying to communicate with extraterrestrials telepathically, not through spoken word, though I will be speaking the words so you know what I'm saying. But green tea rather than coffee to try to calm and purify the mind, but not too calm, but calmer. So first I'd like to talk about Giant Rock, where we're going to be going in a little bit to try to communicate telepathically with extraterrestrials. So Giant Rock is a spot in California out in the desert near Joshua Tree where George Van Tassel telepathically communicated with extraterrestrials, and they gave him instructions on how to build a structure called the Integratron. And maybe it's a really incredible spot if you have a chance to go out there, and maybe we'll talk about it more in the future, but for today, just know that it's somewhere where historically we know that extraterrestrials have been communicated with telepathically, and so that's why we're going there to, because we know that it's a hot spot. So that's where I like to go, and definitely have felt very weird vibes out at Giant Rock, and firmly believe that it is a spot where telepathic extraterrestrial communication is possible. So if you can find a place that's kind of like that wherever you live, that would be awesome. So first of all, you have to think about why you want to contact extraterrestrials. And something you should think about is the kind of intention. This is actually not something you should think about. This is the main thing that you should think about. Number one thing is why you want to contact extraterrestrials and what kind of energy you want to expose them to, because they are likely going to send the same kind of energy back to you. So something that I really like to do, and you'll see it later when we go, but I call these my ET buddies. My ET buddies, and these guys, they help me to project the kind of energy that I want to project outwards, because I can give my ET buddies a hug, and I can say, I love you, aliens, and please, I just feel my love, and it'll be nice, and we'll be friends. And then, you know, the extraterrestrials can radiate love back towards me because I have my alien buddy, and they see me, and I love my ET buddy, and so that helps me to radiate feelings of love towards the extraterrestrials. And I think that's very important that you do the same, unless you want something bad to happen. But if that's what you want, then I don't really want you to try to communicate with extraterrestrials, so please stop watching this video right now. you are going to have to, not only are you going to have to telepathically send your message to the extraterrestrials, but you are also going to have to telepathically receive. So telepathically send and then telepathically receive the message. So it's important that your mind is relatively blank for that. So I have I like to purify my third eye. I like to take my knuckles on my thumbs, and I do, to purify my third eye, I do one rotation clockwise and one rotation counterclockwise. And then sometimes, if it's feeling kind of blocked, I'll do a tap, tap. And that can help to just sort of get immediately into the right mind frame to be able to send and to receive telepathic messages from extraterrestrial beings. And then in addition to my little third eye clearing exercise, it's important to also do some breathing exercises. So let's do a breathing exercise now. I feel very at peace. It's important when you go in and try to have a telepathic communication with an extraterrestrial that you've thought about what you want to say. But I also think it's important that you haven't thought too much about what you want to say. Because there are satellites and machines that are sending out the same message every day into outer space. But you're not a satellite or a machine. You're a living, thinking, feeling being. And I think it's important to express that you are a living, thinking, feeling being to the extraterrestrials, because if they're also living, thinking, feeling beings, and then they know that that's what you are and that you're not a machine, then they're more likely to want to have a conversation with you. So I try not to have my message be exactly the same. I have kind of a template, but I don't want my message to be exactly the same every single time. I try to mix it up a little bit, add in things about that day and maybe some new kind of information, so that if the same extraterrestrial is maybe receiving the messages from me and thinking about, do I want to meet Dr. Howard? Is he the kind of thing that I want to meet? Then they get more of my personality through multiple messages, and then they have an opportunity to kind of think about it. My template is based on the one put out by the International Flying Saucer Bureau, but again, I try to change it up every time and have it be a little different, a little Dr. Howard, and a little, so that they can get to know me better. So let's do. I'm gonna close my eyes. Normally I would just think this, and you'll see me. I'll go to Giant Rock. I'm just gonna think it, but right now I'm gonna read it aloud so that you can know what my message is. Dear space friends, are you there? It's me, Dr. Howard. I would like to welcome you to Earth with total friendship and hope that this message reaches you in mutual understanding. I would welcome you here to Earth with total friendship in my heart. Mi casa es su casa. In fact, if you are receiving this message now, I would like to invite you over to my home for dinner tonight. Tonight for dinner, I am having BLT sandwiches. If you would like to join me for a BLT sandwich, I would be honored. If you do not eat meat, or do not eat at all, that is okay. I will not be offended. Either way, I would like very much for you to come over to my house, and either over a BLT sandwich or not, we could have a conversation. I am very curious to learn all about you and your planet. So, if you are hearing this message, please come, or please send me some kind of proof that you are hearing this message. Thank you very much, and with all the love in my heart, Dr. Howard. Thank you for watching this episode of Alien Hour. I hope that it answered your questions about communicating telepathically with extraterrestrials. If you have your own experiences or any questions that you would like to ask me about my process or any feedback or, whatever, I'm always down to have a conversation about this kind of stuff. Please reach out to me telepathically and we will have a conversation about communicating with extraterrestrials telepathically. Thank you, and I wish you luck in all of your endeavors to communicate telepathically with our space brothers and sisters.